Hello and welcome to Invictus Racing League's F1 tier. Back again. I'm your commentator H Racing Green, following my one-off at the US Grand Prix for round 5. Missed round 6 and I'm back again for round 7. Here at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil for what is sure to be a fascinating qualifying session. We've got a 12-car grid at the moment as the cars head out for this 12-minute qualifying session. Here in overcast conditions, it's not wet, but there are a few clouds in the sky. Not sure if we could be seeing some rain potentially in the race. Of course, Interlagos known for its slightly crazy weather conditions. As we saw in the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix, that washout race. Indeed, in 2008, that iconic event. So here we are then, heading out. We've got Foxy Red 2000 still in the pits. Cliffy there in the Red Bull, out on track on his outlap. Number 43, emblazoned on the shark fin of that RB13. Taking a look at the championship, following the race round 6, which I believe came from... was it Mexico? Can't remember. I'll quickly get the table up. So let's follow then. We'll follow Cliffy on his first lap. Let's open all that up. Everyone on the supers currently. Here we are then, heading around what used to be a long banked oval section of the circuit when they ran the long layout. Gets nice and high up there, going to try and open the radius of the corner out as much as possible. Brakes at about 70 metres, turns in, misses the first part of the apex slightly, gets a late one, but loses the back end, cuts back nicely though. Would have cost him a little bit of time, but he will get the slingshot out to the long left at turn 3, opens the DRS, and traffic coming out of the pits, he'll want that to get out of the way pretty soon. Spots his braking point just after the 100 metre board, turns in, bangs down the gears. 4th gear through there, very nicely done actually. Just touching the white line. Now he's going to use all of the road to the left there. Oh, using almost a Mario Kart style line up to 6th, back down to 5th, extends, could be an invalidation there. Using 1st gear, and he dropped fuel mixtures, he's backed off, yes. So an invalidation as he ran wide on the exit of turn 5. This Ferrari here, Delange, what can he do through the left at turn 4? I think this is turn 5 actually, so this tricky right-hander up here is turn 6. Will he invalidate? Doesn't use such a heavy gear switching method. Does extend though, could be an invalidation also. I know that corner's pretty harsh for that. So, yes, sorry, after the Australian Grand Prix last time out, not Mexico. After the Australian Grand Prix last time out, we had a victory for Gamer, who'd have a strong showing at USA as well. Sam Bamkin's winning streak came to an end. He got 2nd, and Shortbread came home in 3rd there, but with... he is not present here, I don't believe. No, he's not. Ollie Flavel then. Oh, and then Gamer, last time's winner, sets the fastest lap with a 108.8. Let's see what can Delange do if this is indeed a valid lap. Across the line he comes. He goes 109.9, 1.1 seconds off pole. Let's take a look a little way down the field. We've got Sam Bamkin on 110 flat. He'll be looking to improve that, I'm sure. But currently Foxy Red still leads the championship, but not by a lot, I don't believe. Let's take a look. By 9 points over UK Tranquility, whom is not here. So Foxy Red could definitely be looking to extend that lead. He said a 21.1, but that's clearly not a valid lap. So let's see how he gets on now on his 2nd attempt. Just over 7.5 minutes remaining in the session, so plenty of time for things to develop. Then through the left, misses the apex slightly. Sam Bamkin comes in with a 108.9 to go 2nd. Chulo Cookie is in 3rd, not a driver I've seen before. A few actually that we didn't have when I last commentated this league. So MCLR Wheelam, he was not present. Matt Suddens and Humberstone and Apollo Z1633. All of those guys I'm not familiar with, so we'll have to see how they get on. Interesting to see, always interesting to see how new drivers get on. Currently 11 seconds up on his best time is Foxy Red, so with that being a 21.1, he should be looking then to go sort of 4th or 5th, I would imagine, if he carries on that sort of improvement through the final sector. It's basically just one corner and then a long straight. Yeah, there it is, 4th place, 109.3, about half a second off pole. Let's take a look. Anyone else on a flying lap? We've got his teammate, Humbo Stone, in the other McLaren. Is he on a flyer? He's pushing, by the looks of things, opening DRS. He's 18 seconds that last time round, so let's see what he does in this first sector. He's 2 tenths down. Don't know if he's... Well, I think he is pushing. He comes up the hill then, using all of the curve and road available to him. Through the tricky right here, let the car drift out wide, then cut it back very nicely. I think he's back to... I can't tell, this is very difficult. Through that long left. This does appear to be a pretty on-it lap, unless he's going to come into the pits. He's just trying to get round quickly. Currently 2 tenths down. What's he going to be? Oh, he's caught himself on the curb at the second to last corner, and that is a disaster. So he'll be heading straight back to the pits. Cliffy has not set a time yet. I don't quite know what's going on. Maybe there's been some invalidations. I'm not quite sure. So currently with 5 minutes to go, 5.5 minutes to go, most drivers in the pits now. Gamer is on provisional pole by just under 600ths of a second from Sam Bankid. And it's Chillo Cookie who is another, who is just over a tenth behind him. Foxy Rare Championship leader is 4th. Apollo is 5th. Ollie Flavel in 6th at the moment. Then it's MCL, then Matty Suddens, Humberstone, Nicky rounding out the top 10. Delange is 11th. Will be the first of the cars on the fresh tyres if the race started now. And Cliffy has not set a time, but we are on board with Cliffy now as he aims to move out of that bottom of the table position. Can he set a legitimate lap time, not using all the road coming out of turn 3? That's an interesting choice. As we head down, how's he going to get on here? It's a lot through this left. He does that very nicely using 4th gear. He's clearly got a nice rhythm through that corner. Revving the engine up quite a lot. He's 400ths up on his time currently according to the steering wheel. Will he extend? He's extended that corner again. This is going to be another invalidation. Maybe he backed off just enough not to have it invalidated, because he seems to still be pushing. Oh, through the right hand. Oh, he uses 1st gear, which does rotate the car, but scrubs off a lot of mid-corner speed. Sam Bankid just comes out of the pits, as does Gamer. Oh, my word, he's using the gears very aggressively going through the corners. And he's backed off of it. He was 1.3 seconds up on his best, but I think that was another invalidation there. 2 Mercedes, Gamer and Sam Bankid. Gamer was in a Toro Rosso last time, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Everyone else except the 2 Mercedes is now in the pit. This is interesting. I think the Mercedes will either be going out to work together to tow each other, do 2 laps each, one towing the other, or they actually do have a 2 laps plan where they just want to get 2 laps in, because there's still 3 minutes left in the session, which is plenty of time. Here we go then. Sam Bankid. Here is his campaign for pole. Into the first corner, through the centre S's, he uses 4th gear, gets the car rotated, goes through there very nicely. On the long left at turn 3, opens DRS. No drivers using all of the road on the run out of that corner, which is interesting. Choosing to take a more direct route out of the corner. Not really sure if that's fast. Oh, he's touched the grass on the outside of turn 4, and he's dropped off the track. Not an ideal start. How about his teammate? He's got a McLaren in front of him. Negotiates that all right. Now we're going to be heading up the hill into this right-hander. A little bit of a 4-wheel slide. He's not going to want to extend there. He does not. Down to 3rd. Doesn't choose 2nd. Gets the traction out of there. Again, holding it in 3rd. Gets the traction out of there. Uses the natural curvature of the corner, the natural camber on that corner to get the car to come back to him. Take the late apex and get the drive. Loses the rear end a little bit out of there. Through the left-hander now to the final corner. Yun Shao. Oh, using a lot of inside curve. That can often cost you time. Yep, and he loses the rear end a bit. Will this help him improve on his pole time currently? Will he jump a little further away from his teammate? Opens the DRS. Doesn't opt for the most direct route, so yep, likely to go for another lap. He sets a 108.850 or 49, depending on which readout you believe. just over 300ths faster that lap. I'm sure he'll be wanting more, but he does back out. So he's either got go for another lap or the next time round, or he has had enough. Through this right then comes Sam Bankid. Is he any faster? Currently, according to his wheel, he's 1700ths down on his best time last time out. Through there, he's now a 10th up. Through there he comes, and now across the line, he is going to go pole. It's a 108.6, pits his teammate by just under 2/10 there. Very nice, just over 2/10, no, just under 2/10, sorry. Very nice effort from Sam Bamkit, the Mercedes driver. Gamer has pit, so he will not be taking any further part. Foxy Red has gone third with a 108, with a 109 flat, sorry. Chillo Cookie currently in the pits, not improving. So we've got Apollo in P5, currently about 6/10 off pole. Changing fuel mixtures, yet backs off, not going to be taking any further part. How about this McLaren cuts that, so that's probably an invalidation anyway. NCLR Wheelam, currently in 8th place, retires from the session, he's happy with that, 9.4. Matty retires, and Cliffy sets the fastest lap. He steals the front row lockout from the Mercedes guys. It's a 108.6 dead. 600ths faster than than Sam Bamkid, the leading Mercedes. So that could be, that's disappointing for the Mercedes guys. I'm sure they were hoping for the front row lockout. Ollie is here on a lap, currently in P8, 109.4, so a little way off pole. This is his last chance to improve. He loses the back end a little bit there. That's not ideal. Through this long left, there's traffic on the entry to the corner. Let's hope it's not putting off too much. He gets a nice run through there, actually. Rotates the car very well. Oh, and he's thrown it in the wall regardless. Let's hope he didn't set his fastest time on those tyres, because that would not be very sporting if he did. I think that's it then. I think we have our running order, unless Nicky is going to cross the line. He's actually currently up on his time. He does improve by just 100th, but not enough to improve his position. Matty Suddens is last, currently P12. So Cliffy, having not set a time, the whole time he kept extending turn 6, has taken pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Impressive from the Red Bull man. We'll have to see how he gets on. Can he take the win? And now we wait for the session to time out. So if we wait for this, oh, there it is. There's the confirmation. Excuse me. So, there are your confirmed qualifying results. It is Cliffy 7765 for Red Bull, who takes pole position with a 108.599. It's Sam Bamkid with the 108.6 in second. Then it's the other Mercedes of Gamer. Foxy Red Championship leader is fourth. Chillo Cookie for Williams fifth. Apollo sixth for Sauber. McLaren, Humbo Stone, Ollie Flavel and MCL Wheelam for Haas. And then it's Delange in 10th. Nicky the first on the fresh tyres. Matty Suttons in the second. Williams rounds out the grid, and now we wait. Right then, after that brief intermission as we tried to avoid a copyright strike, we wait for the drivers to make their decisions. We're waiting for everyone, in fact. That's not good. There we are then. Apollo the first already up, sets the timer going. This race is a tricky one-stop. Very abrasive surface, even with the recent resurfacing at this circuit. And the soft tyres that are the softer tyres that are available here means that degradation is very high. It's very difficult to do the one-stop. A two-stop, I imagine, is most likely, especially in these dry conditions. It looks like a warm day. The sun is shining just outside Sao Paulo, and we have no sound, which is not a lot of help. Let's briefly pause. There we go. We're away on the formation lap. Cliffy in the Red Bull sets them away. And let's get at the... Oh, he runs on the grass and his formation lap. That is not what you wanted to be doing. He's all over... my word, he's using the formation lap as an opportunity to do a bit of gardening as well, using the low front wing on that Red Bull to cut some of the weeds that grow at the side of the circuit here. Let's spend a minute to take up the telemetry then. We'll get to leader. We'll have tyres enabled right then. So, all of the top 10 plus Nicky all on supers. Of course, Nicky gets those fresh tyres, and Matty Sutton's has gone for the softs. Now, at this circuit, a soft medium one-stop is possible. That's probably the easiest way to get a one-stop done. Starting on warm supers, or even indeed fresh supers, it can be a push. You will need to use the mediums in order to do a one-stop. I imagine, though, we will see most cars doing a super soft, soft two-stop. I imagine that's also the fastest, unless your pace is especially good on one of those harder compound tyres. Onto the grid then, we actually get a decent starting grid camera. That is lovely. For once, the formation lab hasn't messed with it. Here we are then. We're building up to 5 red lights. And we are away. The Mercedes gets a good start, but the Red Bull actually gets a slightly better one. Into the first corner we come. Oh, there's a little bit of contact between the McLaren and the Mercedes. Oh, and the championship leader gets shafted down the field. Chillicookie in 4th. Foxy Red has dropped from 4th to 6th. Apollo up to 5th now. They're going side by side as a Ferrari pulls out there as well. I think that's Delange. Oh, there's the Salbao on the grass. He's going to drop behind Ollie as well now, I think. And it's all very frantic on the first lap here. The Haas gets pushed out onto the grass. He's going to drop that position. Foxy Red did well to recover following the little contact with, I think that was Gamer going through the centre S's, which forced his car out towards the inside wall. If he'd hit that, it likely would have been game over. But thankfully he managed to catch it and has recovered well to 5th place. Apollo remains 6th. Ollie has made up 1 place, I think it's 7th. He might have stayed where he was. Humberstone in 8th. It's Delange in 9th. He's coming under pressure from Whelan in the Haas there. Then it's Nicky and Matty rounding out the field. Matty already starting to drop back slightly because of those soft tyres. Cliffy then sets the fastest lap of the race as we have completed 1 rotation of 36. Through the centre S as they come for the second time then. All pretty single file, no dramas as of yet. Cliffy has pulled out an 8/10 gap to the Mercedes, whom are now just about a 10th apart. And I don't imagine we'll be wanting to hold each other up too much. If they're working together, they will want to perhaps utilise a little bit of team orders and let each other, or let one another through to possibly have a go at that Red Bull. Obviously very early stages yet, so perhaps not thinking about that just now, but the opportunity may present itself as we advance through this Brazilian Grand Prix. Behind them is Chulo Cookie in the Williams, a driver I've not seen before, but evidently having a pretty solid pace to be in a top 5 position. Oh, and the championship leader there is in 5th, sorry, and Apollo actually hit the grass coming out of Yun Chao, and he is going to fall behind Ollie. He's got number 1 on his car, which is interesting because I don't know what he is a champion of. We're going to look sideways as now we come through into the centre S's. Very late braking from Apollo. Oh my word! Clearly seeing in his mirrors the McLaren having a look up his inside. Ollie actually had to turn out of the first corner to avoid contact with the NCL 32. Here he comes then. Oh, the Sauber moves very, very late. Causes De Haas to back out of it. Now we saw a pretty sketchy battle at Kota between one of the Renaults and the Force India driver there. Let's hope we do not see more of the same. But Ollie looking to be faster than Apollo in the Sauber currently. There's a yellow in sector 2. There's contact, I think. There's contact between Matty and Nicky. Whelan involved in that as well by the looks of things. That is not ideal, so Matty drops further back. And Nicky falls to 11th from what he was, I believe, a 10th place position. Looking back then to this battle for 6th position. Not quite close enough to make any moves yet. DRS is active, so you can open it because he is within a second, but I don't think he's really close enough to making anything of it. Gamer and Sam Bankit are very, very close. They also have DRS, so we're going to watch this battle for 2nd now. The Mercedes drivers really don't want to be holding each other up too much. I mean, they've dropped 2 tenths just going through those 2 corners battling, so... And already a 2-second gap has emerged between 1st and 2nd. Both of them sort of copying each other's lines. There's a bit of sympathy errors going on there. As they run through turn 6. Bit of loss of traction on the front end. I imagine that is dirty air coming into effect a touch. Right now though, these Mercedes drivers are pretty equally matched. Taking a look back then to this battle for P6. Ollie Flavel has to be aware of Humberstone behind as well, because if he gets caught up behind this Sauber for too long, or indeed makes any errors, there's another yellow. There's yellow in sector 2. What's this for? It is Matty. He is spun, somehow spun, going through there. Don't quite know how he's managed that. We'll have to see. So the gap's staying about the same between 1st and 2nd, or maybe a couple of tenths dropped. But Sam Bankit, importantly, has actually fallen back from Gamer a touch that lap. Nicky has pit. Let's see why that is. He's got front wing damage. Maybe he was involved. Actually, Matty does as well. So maybe those two were caught up in another collision. Foxy Red not looking to have incredible pace. Currently the championship leader. He's not really falling away from Chilo Cookie, but he is being caught a touch by Apollo and Ollie. There's a yellow in sector 1. What's that for? I think that's just for those guys who have pit. Yeah, and Matty does retire. So not a particularly fruitful evening for him as the Williams driver. Calls it a day, turns the engine off, jumps out. Foxy Red has actually caught Chilo Cookie now. I think Chilo made a mistake because he's caught him a lot in that section, because and Apollo's caught Foxy Red as well. So we're getting 4 cars sort of converging on 4th place here, which could turn into something very interesting. It is traditionally tough to overtake here, and I thought Ollie was actually going to go for a pit stop there as he tucked across to the left of the circuit. Oh, and there's all sorts going on up ahead. They're side by side. There's a touch of contact. He's trying to force him out, and these two battling is really allowing the cars behind to catch up. Let's switch to an outside viewpoint. So come around turn 3 now onto this 2nd straight. What can the McLaren do? There's no DRS for the Williams. Oh, he moves to the inside. He's touched the grass. He actually makes the move. Is the Sauber come through as well? Because he forced him out wide. He does. And now the Sauber is going to make a move on the McLaren potentially if he's got the momentum. Oh, not quite. And so that is 2 positions dropped for Chilo Cookie there. But Foxy Red and Apollo benefit. Can Ollie take advantage as well? Oh, Apollo losing the rear end touch. Can Apollo potentially take Foxy Red? Oh, there's all sorts of rear grip loss coming through the final, the second to last corner, sorry. Now up the hill they go. He's really revving the engine out. My word, that will not have helped him because he actually ran out of power in that fifth gear. Apollo has the DRS. He's going to look to the outside, forced by the McLaren. He's braked much later. He's going to go around the outside at turn 1. It turns to the inside for turn 2, but it will become the inside again for the McLaren at turn 3. He manages to maintain the position, and now here comes the Williams. They'll be side by side. Both of them have DRS. The McLaren ahead does not. Is he going to get in the way? He's gone from side by side with the Williams, looking at the inside of the McLaren. He doesn't get it. He actually runs wide. There's a bit of contact. The Williams retakes the position. Ollie still can't find a way past these guys despite all this battling. Will we now see Chillo try and retake his 4th position from Foxy Red? Not going for it there. Looking in the mirrors, you can see the Sauber really in this fight. Any of these guys could take 4th position here. It's really not a given that any of them. We're coming up to just a quarter of this race done. And already a lot of action occurring between these guys. Pit stops will be soon, I imagine. I think we'll probably be going to about, we'll have about 9 or 10 lap stints on the supers, and then a 15 or 16 lap stint at the end of the race on the softs. In the slipstream again with the DRS open. He's getting close, but not quite close enough. He does brake very late, but it's not late enough either. He's got the Sauber right behind him. The Ollie Flavel and the Haas has actually pit, so he is looking for an undercut, I imagine, to try and jump ahead of these guys. And he's gone for the soft, so he'll be going a little further into this race, probably to roughly lap 23 or 24. I imagine he'll be aiming for. Or potentially he'll be going for 2 soft stints, in which case he'll only really need to go to lap 21 or so. Back with this battle then. These guys still lying astern. Not. Oh, he's run very wide there. Not making any moves this lap so far. Oh, there he is. There he goes. I thought I saw movement in the mirrors. The Sauber has come up the inside, made a lovely move. That is a fantastic launch up the inside. Well controlled as well. No contact. Clean. Blocks the exit. Really nice. Now will the Williams pit? He's dropped that 5th place down to 6th. The McLaren's got away and the Sauber's going to get away here too. He does not. Stays out for another lap. Interesting. And he does have the other McLaren behind him too, so this could be interesting. Oh dearie me, and Chillo has actually gone off at turn 3, so that's not ideal, and he does now have the McLaren steaming up behind him. At the inside he goes. Is there anything he can do? He's got dirty tyres. Forces him out. It's down to P7 for Cookie, so he's gone from P4 to P7 in about 5 laps. That's an absolute disaster for the Williams driver, and I imagine he will soon be coming into the pits to try and remedy some of these issues. As the Haas and Ollie now, let's change to interval rather than leader. So he's 16 seconds behind Delange, who in turn is only a couple of seconds behind these guys. So 18 seconds, it's longer than 18 seconds to pit lane here. So Ollie, I think, is going to jump all of these guys. He'll move himself up to 4th place, and I don't think he'll be out of sync on strategy either, depending on what tyres he goes on for his potential second stint. Cliffy then, race leader, is in. Allows Gamer to take the lead for a moment. He is going for soft tyres as well, if the game is not lying to me. Yes, he does indeed go for soft. 5 second stop, go for Chillo Cookie for speeding into the pit lane. It goes from bad to worse for the Williams driver. He is stopping for a fresh set of supers, no for a fresh set of softs. Okay, everyone go for softs then in this second stint. Ollie, let's watch him as he comes. He does it, sets 11.5, so that's the fastest lap of the race. Goes through, he's ahead of Cookie. He's only 2 seconds behind Delange. He's going to hope he's not going to get held up before the other guys stop. There's the Williams, there is the Haas, so he's ahead of one of his rivals, but not by much, and the Williams is on the faster tyre, so we'll have to see how this battle develops. Gamer leads then. It's a Mercedes 1-2 currently, not a genuine 1-2 at the moment, as the pit stops are putting everyone slightly out of sync. And already we can see, look how the pace of the super softs is superior to the soft, as Chillo Cookie is all over the back of Ollie in the Haas. And I imagine we'll be seeing a move soon as Gamer comes into the pits, as does Foxy, as does Apollo and Humberstone. Will Whelan come in as well? No. So he's going to move to second place. Gamer has gone for the soft, but I think he would have dropped a little bit of time to Cliffy. Here we go then. Here comes the Williams at the inside of the Haas. The Haas runs a bit wide, touches the grass, but he's gone very hot into there. Not going to help his run through turn 2 and thus turn 3. However, the Haas gets a little bit of a slide on coming out of there, and he's not going to be close enough to make a move, I don't think. So Foxy Red out, 1.5 seconds ahead. Ollie has jumped Apollo, but not Chillo and not Foxy Red. So Chillo has passed Ollie thanks to those supers. Foxy Red is ahead on the supers. So everyone here has to make another stop. There's no way the supers or the softs will go to the end. So this could be a very interesting race. I think the guys on the supers will have a bit of an advantage to begin with in the third stint of this race, because they'll get an undercut effectively. Their supers will wear out faster, they'll change up to a set of softs which will be faster. However, once the soft runners do pit, they'll be on the faster tyres, and they might be able to come back at those earlier pitting drivers. So Sam Bankit and Whelan are in the pits themselves. Sam has gone onto the soft, Whelan is on the supers. He is going to drop behind all of these guys, probably be 9th, maybe 10th. Humberstone is behind the Ferrari of Delange actually, so that's not gone too well for him either in the pit stop phase. And Nicky remains 11th. Well, 1/3 of the way through this race. That's 12th. So a long way to go yet. Ollie's still not losing touch with Chillo Cookie though. And actually, if we look at the gaps, Whelan is pretty close to Delange, so maybe we can see a battle here. The 1:11 flat for Gamer is the fastest lap of the race. 2/10 faster than Cliffy's effort last time around, so currently the Mercedes driver looking to be faster on the soft tyre, the middle compound available to the drivers at this race. Here we go then, Haas versus Ferrari. That's an immense improvement in straight line speed, my word. Ollie gets the 30-second time penalty. Whelan goes around the outside at turn 1, turns to the inside for turn 2, and then the inside again for turn 3. Impressive move, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. Maybe Delange is running a high wing setup, but that was quite an incredible improvement in straight line speed. Looks to the outside again. Does he get it? Oh, there's almost contact. We're trying to find which angle to go with. No, the Haas shuts the Ferrari out. It's allowed the McLaren of Humberstone to catch up as well, actually. So we could be seeing the Ferrari driver drop. That's another. Ollie's just got 2 3-second time penalties in one lap, which is quite a disaster there. But as I was saying, we could be seeing the McLaren take the Ferrari driver as well, which would not be too good for him. Along the back straight, the front straight, sorry, they come. They're not a lot between them, but nothing, no moves can be made from this distance. Any advances on those battles? No, really, this is the closest any of the cars are at the moment. The field has sort of spread out a bit since those pit stops, due to the natures of the undercuts, etc. But I'm sure as the tyres wear out, as people perhaps start to make mistakes, we could be seeing some more battles in a little while. Apex slightly missed by the McLaren driver there, but nothing too major. Oh, all sorts of movement going along on the front straight. You're not quite sure it's necessary because these guys aren't really that close to each other. Chillo gets a 3-second time penalty. That's on to his stop-go that he received. Oh my word, what happened there? He's hit the back of him. I looked away for a second and he's clattered into the back of the Ferrari. He's got himself wing damage. That's a disaster for Humberstone. What has gone on there? So I'm going to look back on the stream a second. We look at a replay briefly. Let's see, he was in the DRS range. He was closing up on him. Oh, and he just braked a bit too late, touches the back of the Ferrari, and that's the end of his right end plate. That's a disaster. We actually saw Wheeler in the wall there as well, as he headed up the hill, so not quite sure what's going on here. All sorts of disasters occurring. Now I imagine, although we do not see the McLaren guy pit, the McLaren driver does not pit. He's opted to stick it out with that front wing damage. I mean, he could actually switch to mediums, go for a new front wing, and he probably would make it to the end, to be honest. So, not the end of the world if he does need to make a second stop, because he wouldn't be that out of sync. He would just be on slightly slower tyres. Could probably still salvage quite a few points. Now, can Delange start to make any advances on Ollie ahead? He's got 2.9 seconds to make up. Gained 3/10 through the middle sector there, so some inroads being made on the gap to the Haas, who has also actually dropped back from Apollo. There dropped a couple of tenths in that sector. Battles, not really the field, really quite spread out at the moment. There's not an awful lot to talk about. The strategy pretty straightforward. It's bright blue skies, so we won't be seeing any rain. We've just got to see if Delange can make up any positions, make up any time on Ollie ahead. He's gained a little bit more. Looks to just about have the pace. We're coming up to half distance in this race now. Guys on supers will be stopping roughly in about 2 or 3 laps, I imagine. Guys on softs probably not stopping until about lap 24, lap 25 or so. On the front straight again then. Wheelam actually impressively, Humberstone has dropped about 3 seconds from Delange, which I actually expected more with that amount of damage to the front wing. So it's quite impressive, but he is allowing Wheelam to catch up, and I think he'll probably be making a stop fairly soon, so I don't really see how damage like that can be sustained for any length of time. Delange not really making any more inroads on that gap. Is Apollo catching Cookie? Well, Cookie, when he stops again, will have to serve 5 seconds, so he is going to drop probably behind Ollie, depending on undercuts and things. Probably won't maintain that 5th position. But of course, it is a bonus if Apollo can get him on track rather than in the pit or off the back of a penalty. Three-second time penalty for second place man Gamer. Not going to affect his position at the moment because Sam Bankhead is another 9 seconds down. Quite a large pace disparity actually between the Mercedes, and they were looking fairly similar in qualifying. They have now opened the gap a little bit. Apollo is definitely catching Cookie though, because those supers on that Williams will definitely start to be going off now. Now I imagine it'll be this or next lap that he opts to come in for a fresh set of soft tyres, I imagine, to head to the end. Yeah, look at this, immense amounts of time being gained here. I'm just going to check he's not got wing damage or anything. No, he's got the pit indicator on his dash, so will it be this or the next lap that he opts to come in? Cliffy starts lap 20 there, so 16 laps to go at the end of this one. Foxy Road has opted to stay out another lap. Will Chillo do the same? Is he looking to the pit entry? He is not, so I feel like he's going to drop his position on this lap. Yep, here comes the Sauber of Apollo. He's going to look up the inside into the first corner. Does give the inside line for the second corner to the Williams. But there's nothing he can do. There's no traction left with those supers by the looks of things. And the Sauber of Apollo retakes that top 5 position. It's been quite the battle for the position sort of between 4th and 8th. Lots of fighting, all those drivers pretty evenly matched. Actually, let's take a look as well. Whelan is only a few tenths off the back of Humberstone. Of course, damage to that McLaren probably hindering him a bit, but let's see how he gets on, try to defend that position from the Haas. Nicky's pit. All wide there, not enough room for the Haas to get through. Oh, there's a huge kick of oversteer for Whelan there, and Gamer's disconnected. Oh, it's stunning. So the second place man has just lost connection to the lobby. He's going to be bleeding time out because the AI are not fast. Sam Bankhead is going to be catching him hand over fist, and I imagine we'll take second place from him, but that does really put pay to any challenge for first from either Mercedes. A very late move up the inside from the Haas doesn't pay off, loses the rear end a bit, and you'll have DRS again for this second straight. He looks to the outside. The McLaren has wing damage, so he's going to understeer. Oh, it's close, nearly gets forced off the circuit. We're right on board as they head up the hill towards this right-hander in the dirty air. The understeer is pretty poor. Gamer's back, so he's dropped about 4 seconds in that time. Let's hope he can get back in his car. But yet, now 11 seconds behind Cliffy and only 4 seconds ahead of Sam Bankhead. That is not what he wanted. Oh, nearly contact into the left-hander. There's a yellow in sector 3. Who is that for? Chillo Cookie is pit, as is Ollie. What's happened here? Why is there a yellow? I'm not really sure why there's a yellow flag in sector 3. Around the outside, he goes. Will he get the move done? The McLaren's going to understeer, but there's nothing you can do about it. The Haas takes what is P7, will be a net P9, I think. And Ollie comes out on soft. Chillo comes out on soft. So Ollie going for the double soft strategy. Chillo going for the super soft. So these guys are pretty equal now. And we're going to see how they get on. Oh, bumps the wall. That's not ideal. So Cliffy still leads. Still not coming in just yet. Gamer, following that disconnection, only has a 2.6 second lead over Sam Bankhead. And is about 13 seconds away from the race lead. And Foxy Red has pit then, so he is going from the supers on, well, you'll be onto a set of soft tyres. There they are. The McLaren guys get to work. Out he goes. He'll rejoin in P7, I believe, or no, it might be P8 behind his ailing, damaged teammate. Where is Ollie? Now, Ollie's quite a way back from Foxy Red, actually, so he has not benefited too much from that decision. Foxy Red heads out almost 10 seconds ahead of Ollie, so now are we going to see some potential team orders here as the McLaren that's got wing damage has a whole pit stop behind his teammate, and his teammate is fighting for P4, is in P4. Will he move aside to avoid hindering his teammate's race, or will he fight for it? Let's see. Cliffy is in the pits then. Race leader comes in. Drops behind Gamer, who stays out for another lap. I think Gamer is going to go for super softs at the end of the race. He's trying to push this for as long as possible. Those Mercedes guys seeming to have pretty good tyre life. He has gone for softs, interestingly. So if the Mercedes go for supers, if they last, they could still have a very, very slim chance at taking the win. But they are going to need some serious pace because Cliffy will have the advantage briefly. So I imagine I'll be coming in this lap, if maybe the next lap. Look at this isn't quick. Those softs clearly quite worn, actually. That's saying they had good tyre wear. It was maybe a touch premature. I mean, look how close he is. You can see both of them. So, we'll have to see. Apollo is fourth, still has not stopped for a fresh set yet. Let's see what he does. Delange a little way back. Whelan again yet to make his second stop. Humbo needs to stop again with that damaged front wing. Foxy Red has stopped and he's now getting caught up behind his teammate. It's allowed Ollie to catch up by about 2 seconds over the course of these couple of laps. So not ideal for the championship leader to be caught behind his much slower teammate. Will he move? He's got a great run into the final corner. He doesn't. Oh, he's been held up even more. He's dropped another half a second to Ollie behind. While the gap's this big, it's not too much of a big deal, but once he starts to really close down, he's really not going to need this. As he opens DRS, will his teammate pit? His teammate does indeed pit, so that battle was sort of futile for him there. Delange pits as well. Gamer is in, he's gone for the supers. Now, can the Mercedes make any sort of charge on Cliffy ahead? He's got like a 14-second gap. If he changes to a leader, 16 seconds from the leader, and about 15 and a half away from Cliffy, as Cliffy has actually caught Sam Bamkin by the 2 seconds advantage that he has and is about to put a pit stop on him. So quite a dominant display from Cliffy so far. Can he carry it on for the last 11 laps? That remains to be seen. Or gets very close to the Mercedes. The last thing he wants to do now is knock off the end of his front wing. Actually low on fuel, this Cliffy. That's interesting. I rarely see people running out of fuel on this game. Yep, Sam pits then. He is going to drop behind Apollo and Cliffy. Cliffy sets 10.7, the fastest lap of the race. Is Apollo going to pit? This is interesting. I think he will. Yes, in he comes. So Gamer will retake third position. I don't think he'll jump Sam. I don't think the gap was quite small enough for that to happen. No, he has. He is ahead of him. So Gamer has pulled out about 5 seconds on his teammate in that round of pit stops, but he does have 14 seconds to Cliffy. He was a little bit held up by Sam Bamkin, so Sam did a little bit of a favour for Gamer, but I don't think it's really enough. Gamer has got to drive absolutely flawlessly, using everything he can to try and catch 14 seconds in 10 laps, not have the tyres go off too much, and try and make that pass. That is going to be quite the tall order. Nicky gets a penalty, but he's actually now into 10th position. Final point scoring place. Humberstone 8 seconds behind him, thanks to that front wing change. And Delange has passed Whelan. How's that happen? That's just a simple move up the inside for P8 there. So this Haas and this Ferrari have been battling for quite a while. Gamer is making quick inroads. He's down to 13.7 already, but it's all about that life in the tyres really more than anything. It's 10.7 himself, but that just goes to show that's 10.7 on supers. Cliffy did that with soft, so the pace potentially not quite there with the Mercedes guys, or the pace is extremely there with Cliffy, which I think is potentially the more likely scenario, because Gamer and Sam are not slow drivers at all. But again, the field has spread out just a little bit. We've got this battle here for 5th actually. Ollie has jumped to Polo. Chillo has dropped back. I don't think he's going to quite be in the fight from now on. But this could be interesting. Apollo is on the supers, Ollie is on the softs, so the tyre disparity means that the Sauber driver will have the pace advantage, potentially not the longevity advantage, as is the issue with the Mercedes. But if he can get that move done, it's quite tricky to overtake. Oh dear, he gets a 3-second time penalty, so that's not going to help his cause. But as I said, it is tricky to overtake him. If he can get the move done, he can then defend as his tyres start to go off, potentially manage to hold on to that 5th place position. So let's see how he gets on. Lots of rear end action from Ollie and Apollo here. All runs very wide coming through the penultimate corner. Gamer sets a 10.4. That pace is more like it for the supers. Down to 12.9 now, the gap. His teammate 4 seconds behind. This is interesting. He's actually dropped some time there. Wherever he is on the circuit, he's dropped about 2/10. Here they come then, along the front straight. It's Ollie versus Apollo for the final top 5 position. I believe this place is worth 6 points, so 6 points for either of these guys' championship campaigns is worthy. And Gamer has stopped catching Cliffy for the moment. Oh, there we go, finally takes another chunk out of him in that sector. Is he going to look at the inside then? Apollo, no he does not. We switched an outside view. Up the inside he comes. Is he going to make it? Oh, that was very close. Tried to go for a remake of the move he made earlier. Not quite pulling off. He wasn't... Ollie turned in a little bit earlier than he did earlier. Oh, back ends. Both of them struggling with those coming out of that right-hander. With this long bumpy left. Then again the left at Yunchao. As he now heads up the hill, will he get the traction? He's really close, right up behind him, less than a 10th the gap. He's moved to the outside, it's the long way around, not ideal. Going to tuck back into the slipstream, opens the DRS, he's again on the outside. A lot of movement from the Haas, sort of almost trying to put him off. Here they come then, up the along side by side into the first corner. He's going to go around the outside, it turns the inside for turn 2. Ollie doesn't manage to get a good enough drive there. He actually almost drives into the back of the Sauber, but he will have DRS. Can the Haas driver do anything else as they come along the second straight? He's on the outside, he's going to move to the outside, moves to the inside, does the Haas? No, overtake able to be made there. And Apollo takes P5 from Ollie in the Haas, and now if he can hold those tyres together, he could be able to defend that position enough and take home 6 points for his championship. And he's slowed right down. Why has he done that? Did he feel like he overtook him unjustly? I'm not sure. That's interesting. So, oh, and he spun. What has happened there? What on earth has gone on? He's made a move for P5, quite a decent move for P5. He's then let through his rival, and then he spun and hit the wall. Meanwhile, we've got Delange, Whelan battling again. I'm not... What on earth has happened there? Apollo was having a pretty solid drive, and he's retired. That's really odd. He lets through the Haas, thinking, I guess perhaps he thought he made the move unfairly, moved in the braking zone or something, and then stamps the throttle and crashes. Oh, there's a bit of contact between these guys. Chillo gets a 3-second time penalty. Here they go side by side around turn 3. This has been a race-long battle. This is now the battle for P7. Bit of wheel banging as they head along the second straight. It's DRS open for the Ferrari. Oh, I don't think he's going to make the move as the Haas holds on to it, but no, there's the cutback. As they come up the hill, they're going to go side by side into this tricky long right-hander. Bit of understeer, bit of a four-wheel drift. There's argy-bargy going on. He does make the move. The Ferrari trying to go back around the outside. Doesn't quite work out. Can't quite get the cutback. What about now? No. So the Haas of Whelan, now the Sol Haas, sorry, not the Sol Haas, the second Haas in the race. Up to P7, P5 and P7 for Haas at the moment. That's a pretty solid effort from those guys. Delange in 8th in the Ferrari. Nicky up to 9th. Humbo Stone in 10th now thanks to the retirement of the Salva. Gamer is still catching Cliffy, but it's not enough. 10.7 seconds. He's got 5 laps remaining. Not enough time to do anything about that unless there is a mistake. Foxy Red in 4th currently. Been a pretty quiet race for him once he broke away from the battle. And he has been just driving well in 4th position. More points to add to his championship title campaign. UK Tranquility not being here, of course, does help him extend his gap, his 9-point gap over the Renault driver. Sam in 3rd will take home 8 points, which is just 1 more than Foxy Red. He'll get 7 points for 4th. So the gap will be, Sam Banke will end up 12 points behind Foxy Red and 3 points behind Tranquility. Benny Vidivici not here this week, so he will not be scoring any points. And Gamer, he's only 1 point behind him, so his score will definitely help him pass. Parkway Drive not here either. Speed Queen, Thomas Fox Delange in 9th. He's got 14 points, so a few more points out of his tally as well, but he won't move anywhere in the title. Oh dear, excuse me. Any other battles going on? I don't think we're seeing a lot at the moment. No. So with 4 laps to go, this race has calmed down a little bit. Unless we see an error from one of these drivers, I think these positions are pretty set. Ride with the race leader for a while as we head towards the conclusion of this race. Yeah, the gap to Gamer behind has stabilised now. Not really making any more inroads. I guess those supers are really going off, having been pushed so hard in the early part of the stint. Yeah, you can see on his steering wheel there, 7 tenths down. Humbo gets a 3-second time penalty. That's an interesting point, actually. Let's take a look at the time penalties accumulated. There has been not just the 1 warning for Cliffy in this race. So after invalidating 3 laps at turn 6, he's managed to only get 1 warning. That is a penalty, 1 penalty for Gamer, a penalty and 2 more warnings for Sam, so he's got to be careful not to get another. Just the 1 warning for Foxy Red. Ollie has 2 penalties, 3 penalties, oh dearie me. 4 penalties in fact, so he could actually be losing positions if he's not careful here. 2 penalties, 3 penalties for Chillo. Whelan with not a single warning, fantastic driving. Just the two warnings for Delange. Nicky with... oh, he was going so well until then, with a penalty and a warning. And Humbo has 1 penalty, so there we go. Oh, big oversteer. I was saying that. Humbo's got another one. Just as I was saying that, Foxy Red makes an error at the top of the hill. Loses the rear end. Any battles occurring, any drivers sort of close. Can Humbo catch Nicky? Let's follow this then for the position that will pay them 2 points for their efforts. Looks like he is catching him. The Force India driver on the softs versus the McLaren on the supers. And I think we could be seeing a last lap scrap for P9 in this race. Actually, looking at Delange and Whelan, they're only 1.1 seconds apart as well, so could we be seeing a couple of battles in this last section of the race? Here we go, up the hill they come, and Whelan has passed Chillo Cooking. Whelan and Chillo fighting now Oh, there's contact. Oh, and the Williams spins out. He's going to hit the wall. That's the disaster. He's dropped down to P8 in the race. He's now got Nicky behind him, who could take advantage as well. I'm not really sure what went on there. I don't really think either of them was to blame. That was just an unfortunate racing collision. Neither of them particularly took abnormal lines. And now he's going to really have to look behind him. Can Nicky make this P8 for himself on the final lap? Can he grab an extra point? It's 3 points taken for 8th position. He's got less penalties than Chillo, and Chillo's run wide there as well. Perhaps he's got wing damage from that contact with the wall. He's down to 9th. Can Humbo now make it P9 as well? Oh, Chillo Cookie, can he hold off Humbo on track? I feel like he's going to drop the position anyway. Cliffy is going to come up the hill, start his final lap. Oh my word. Start his final lap, he will finish this race. Well, no, start his final lap, my apologies. There we go. As he's up the inside, Chillo now has dropped to P10. He's not going to have DRS either because the McLaren managed to get the move done before the DRS zone. Is the Williams going to try something desperate? No, he's not aiming to lose more time at this first corner than he ever needs to. And so, there we go. These battles seem to be pretty done. Delange has escaped with that one. He's got 7th. MCL Wheelam has got P6. A great drive there. Managing to recover. He was actually P9, P10 at one point, I think. So, really solid recovery effort to come home and take P6 as Cliffy takes the win here in Brazil. Gamer and Sam Bamkid take 2nd and 3rd. Double podium for the Mercedes guys. It's Foxy Red in 4th. There's a 5-second stop-go penalty for Humberstone. I think he's just cut the crap out of one of the corners to try and make a pass. Oh no, Chillo Cookie then is not going to go last. Humberstone has messed up on the final lap and is going to be P10. Chillo gets P9. As I was saying, the Mercedes guys get a double podium. Foxy Red, the championship leader, takes home 4th. A good drive from him. It's Ollie in 5th. Wheelam takes home 6th. Oh no, Ollie drops it with so many penalties. Wheelam is going to get a top 5. Really, really great. He's going to get a really great finish for him. Delange takes home 7th. Nicky gets his 8th place. After starting outside the top 10, an improvement of 3 places is pretty solid. Chillo gets 9th, and will Humberstone make it to the finish line? He does. P10 for him. That was Uri RL Brazilian Grand Prix in the F1 tier. Some great battling there again. Never fails to deliver this league. Always an interesting race. And there we are. Confirmation then. That is Cliffy, top step of the podium for the Brazilian Grand Prix here from the Interlagos circuit. Gamer the Best will take 2nd place for Mercedes, and his teammate Sam Bamkid will take P3. More points for their championship campaigns are always welcomed, and there you have it. Cliffy is 1st, Gamer 2nd, Sam Bamkid 3rd, then it's Foxy Red in 4th, Wheelam following the spin. This is his first race without traction, so a really solid effort from him there, especially with an increase of 4 positions and the recovery drive. Ollie then is 6th, it's Delange in 7th, Nicky takes home 8th place, Chillo is 9th, and Humberstone rounds out the top 10 for McLaren, Apollo and Lance Stroll, and the other Williams of... I can't remember who the other Williams belong to. So, there you go. That is your Brazilian Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed. I have been your commentator, H Racing Green. Again, I imagine I'll be back again next week for round 8 of this 12-round championship, which will be from the Bahrain circuit, the Sakir International. And I hope that you will join us then. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, good night.